Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to race number 4 of the NSCA Cup Series 2023 season. I should say, not 2013. That's a decade ago. Anyways, we are here at Rockingham Speedway. Of course, last time out in race 3, it was Hunter Kiro that took the checkered flag first, and he became the third different winner in 3 races. It is going to be Ricky Foxen on pole alongside last week's winner, Hunter Kiro. Dylan Maddox, Travis Heflin, and Amy Walsh round out the top 5. Of course, Rockingham, shorter track, hard on tires. It's going to be interesting to see how the field stacks up. As we get set to go racing here. Off of turn number 4 into the tri-oval and into the restart zone. Green flag's out. We are underway at Rockingham. Foxen with a good start. Maddox already clear of Kiro as well as the field rounds turn number 2 for the first time. Already 3 wide further in the back. Walsh briefly had a look to the inside of Heflin, but Heflin was able to hold her off. Merzlak, meanwhile, clears for 6th, and Blade Runner clears for 7th. Ignore the fact that it says no time recorded yet for the session. GNL is occasionally likes to be behind, as people should know. And for the lead now, here comes Maddox, trying to take the spot away from Foxen as the field enters turn 1 once again. Now down Thunder Alley they go. Of course, with this being a shorter track, a shorter spoiler is being used, as you can see, compared to Texas, Auto Club, and, most importantly, Daytona. Now Foxen dropping back as it looks like both her and Walsh trapped on that outside lane. Maddox leads Kiro back to 2nd, Heflin 3rd. Meanwhile, it's Merzlak and Foxen side by side for 4th. And now we were almost briefly 3 wide there with Walsh looking to the inside of Foxen. She'll take that spot. But here's Theodore Keene also running inside of Foxen. However, he took a look inside Walsh exiting turn 4 last time by. He's getting now pushed by the 22 of William Sparks. Look throughout the rest of the field now as everybody, begins to spread out. I will say, the 38 of Robert Dobbs, he started last, and he's already worked his way up through quite a bit of the field, actually. It looks like it's Alana Kiro running last, which is very uncharacteristic of her. Of course, same can go for Jake Greger here towards the back as well. As now Breyan Sojanovic falls back to 37th and last. Back up front, looks like Maddox has retained the lead, with Kiro still running in 2nd. Heflin doing decently as well to keep touch with the leaders. Of course, he led the most laps last week at Texas and whatnot, so he had a pretty good car that time by. And of course, as we know, Dylan Maddox was able to keep up with the leaders, and he led a good chunk of the race as well. And now for the lead, here comes Kiro to the inside of Maddox. Maddox is going to lead the lap, but here comes Kiro now to the inside. He will easily take the spot. Can Heflin capitalize and get to the 59 himself? Well, might have to wait and see. Walsh has recovered back to 6th. And it looks like Arnstruff also running pretty decently as well. He's at the in the 8th position. Foxen has fallen only back to 10th, thankfully for her. We see Wallace and Evans Ross battle side by side for 11th. Echo will be able to hold off Wallace for the spot. Well, Heflin has kept in touch with the leaders and whatnot, but Maddox and Kiro battling have allowed Heflin to reel in, and now it's a three-way fight for the lead. But look too far back, it's Merzlak also reeling these guys in. So we see a battle for 7th now brewing. Keen stuck on the outside with Arnstruff on the inside. Sparks also looking there as well. Arnstruff is going to get the spot off of turn 4. Sparks now side by side with the 33. And Keen can't get to the inside because now here comes Foxen looking to take 9th back from that 33 car. But Keen is able to hold off the 8 for now. Back up front briefly, and leaders have separated themselves just a little bit. I believe Merzlak's still reeling them in. Also, no part-time entries this week, so it is just all 37 full-time drivers. In case that wasn't obvious from the ticker. Grego has made up a few spots, as has the O2 Takeda. Oh, Cody Lamas running further back here. The defending champion not doing so well in these opening races. We see Hancock running very slowly down the front straightaway here. Not sure what's going on with his car, but seems to be very ill handling here in the early going. Same goes for the 57 of Granger. Of course, he won the Daytona 500 to kick off the season and done pretty decently at both Texas and even better at Auto Club, but he's running in the back as well. As now we see Steffi Plaxco passing the 3 for 36th. And Merzlak is reeling in Heflin. Heflin starting to lose a little bit of touch to the leaders. And Kiro starting to pull away from the 59 as well. As we see Walsh now in a fight for the 6th spot. And she'll lose 2 spots through 3 and 4. Now here comes the 37 of Crown Jr. Sorry, I had to remember who that was for a second. So many drivers to keep track of, and not all of them get touched upon throughout every race. Of course, it doesn't help that I do these broadcasts by myself more often than not, but that's beside the point. Maddox looks to the inside there, entering turn 1. Nothing came of it. Tyler Blade Runner's just, chilling by himself for now, although he's got to pick up the pace a little bit because he's got a hard-charging Arnstruff along with the 22 of Sparks. Kind of shoving him there. Walsh only has lost 2 spots. As Echo Evans Ross, I don't know if she made a pass on Calvin Richards or was fighting Richards because Richards decided to go to the outside. But in any case, Richards now lost a spot to the 6 of English and is going to lose another spot to Jensen Nomina. And it's going to lose another spot to RJ Bishop. And Evans, Ross, English, and Nomina aren't done yet because now they are trying to get around Fedor Keen for a spot, I believe, just outside the top 10, if I'm doing my math correctly. And Kiro's pulled away from the field. Here comes Heflin now to the inside of Maddox with a push from Merzlak for the 2nd position. Maddox able to hold off the 13. And we see the three of Hancock not doing so well, running in last right now, with both Axiom Racing and Union cars back here as well. Not sure what's going on with Axiom Racing and Union. They were hoping for good performance, formed a partnership with Steven Merzlak Racing ahead of last season and didn't really perform to expectations. Also, now running third to last and last right now, with Hancock passing Takeda there. So unsure what's going on with Axiom Racing Union at the moment, but nothing good at the moment. See Robert Dobbs making a move on last year's Rookie of the Year, Cole Dillon, and now Crago's going to look to the inside. Doing pretty good so far in that 38 car, despite missing Daytona. Merzlak meanwhile, has gotten around Travis Heflin for third, and now is looking to chase down the 59 of Maddox for second. Meanwhile, Sparks has gotten around Armstrong and had a look at Blade Runner, but Blade Runner was able to get the drive off of turn 2 by the looks of things. Meanwhile, the 8 of Foxen gets around the 44 of Walsh, and now here goes Ian Wallace to the inside and gets around the 44. It is interesting to see the Fords not be as dominant as they once were, even if we see some making moves. Considering Ford is the 4-time defending manufacturer champion in the series so far. Of course, I say that with Hunter Kiro basically picking up where he left off last week at Texas by currently leading the early going here. As we see Sparks now completing the pass on Blade Runner. Now we'll have to see if Armstrong can get around Blade Runner as well, or if Blade Runner will stay clear, and it looks like Blade Runner will stay clear of the 84. Battle between Walsh and Wallace is not over yet, and it's allowed English to close in as well. Of course, I was just mentioning Fords, all three of these drivers from 3 different Ford teams. One of which is owned by English himself. Now Wallace gets around, or gets passed by Walsh, rather, and is able to fend off English for now. That's allowed Evans Ross to close in, as well as Keane and Nomina, who's doing pretty well in that 80 car. I'll tell you this, the driver that has moved up since mentioning him earlier is McGranger. He was running basically at the tail end of the field. Now he's making the pass on Brett Kenningberg in the 82 for, I believe, the 17th position? I don't know, we'll see the ticker here in a moment. Last year's Daytona 500 winner, Ryan Vaughn, running midfield as well. One of the interesting storylines for this season is, of course, the return of Riles Corbett Racing. And yes, I called it correctly, 17th position. Holy cow, I'm good. Anyways, getting back to what I was saying, but return of Riles Corbett Racing with William Montoya in the number 99 car. It's pretty interesting to note that the team is actually competing against themselves, basically, in the sense that this team used to be Spencer Racing, owned by Austin Spencer, the previous season. However, the original Riles Corbett Racing is actually Red Bull Racing. Because that's who Bryce Riles and Kyle Corbett sold their assets to, was Red Bull. So the 23 car, driven by Alana Keshiel, today used to be the 99 car that was driven by Kyle Corbett up to 2019. But they're back. They got William Montoya now behind the wheel of that car. And he's done all right so far this season. Not great, not terrible. And McGranger's on a tear right now. He's now picked up several more spots than I initially thought he was going to, and he's looking to almost crack the top 10 as well. And Merzlik's still running in third. The 92 still running in first, and the 59 still running in third. Speaking of McGranger, his teammate is, of course, Dylan Maddox in the 59. My microphone got unplugged there briefly, but hey, it's whatever. Hi, easy fix. As a whole heap of cars now getting around Arnstruff in the 84. Wait. No, it's Gordon Granger 2 laps down. Hang on a second. When did McGranger pit? I don't remember Granger pitting at all. Oh, it was on lap 11, going on lap 12, that he had to come down pit road by the looks of things. According to the thing, it was a tire issue, so... Huh, no wonder why he's faster than everybody else. Alright, so never mind. One driver who is making moves, though, is Jacob Crago here. Was running in the back, now is running in, well, trying to take 20th away from the 83 of Richards. Not doing terribly great at that, considering it looks like Montoya kind of hit the anchors there, exiting the corner. As the tail end of the field about to come under fire from the leaders here. So we are about to get lap traffic. William Sparks has run down Travis Heflin and is looking to get around that number 13 car for the 4th position here. Blade Runner just still casually chilling in 6th. It's not moved up. It's not moved down. It's done pretty alright. All things considered. 6 of English now running in 7th. You got Crown Jr. in 8th. The 8 of Foxen back in 9th. And then rounding out the top 10 is the 12 of Wallace. So, movement up and down throughout the field, as it looks like the inside lane is the dominant line through 1 and 2. And not as much, but still preferred in 3 and 4. And unsure of just exactly when we're going to hit lap traffic. Could be a lap or two from now. So as we see McGranger now getting around Heflin. It's interesting that McGranger is still running as quick as he is, considering that he only has 11 lap fresher tires, or 12 lap fresher tires, I should say, than the rest of the field. No, 12 to 13 laps, because he has scored 2 laps down right now. So see Vaughn take a pass against the 24 of Mikey Willard. Field really spread out throughout well, most of it, as we see the 29 of Max O'Quinn side by side with the 38 of Robert Dobbs. And add Samuel Henson Jr. to that fight. Of course, this is towards the or tail end of the pack, I should say. And Robert Dobbs looks like he just like hit the brakes coming off the corner there. So see McGranger just fly past the four of Merzlach. Interesting to see the leaders haven't really caught the tail end of the field yet. Maddox easily lets his teammate by as they go through turns 1 and 2 now. English has caught Blade Runner and is now to the inside. This is, of course, for the 6th position. And Blade Runner held off English for now, but English is still looking. Of course, some drivers might just be waiting for pit stops, see who all is able to adjust on their cars, and maybe, hopefully, have a faster stop than some of the drivers they're battling. Granger now gets one of his 2 laps back. And Granger's caught Takeda and is now looking to get around the O2. That might allow Kiro to catch in a lot quicker as well, as Takeda is taken off the preferred line through turns 1 and 2. Further, looks like Henson Jr.'s gotten around both Dobbs and O'Quinn as they continue to battle. O'Quinn must have gotten loose off the corner because he was really off pace the entire way down the front straightaway there. Maddox kind of reeled in Hunter Kiro back as well. Maybe the outside lane is just that preferred coming off of turn 4 that if you're basically on the outside, you just do not go. Who knows? Granger's already starting to pass people again. Kiro, meanwhile, has caught Takeda, more or less. Everyone's effectively stabilized for now in terms of where they are on track, as we see Kenningberg effectively pushing Willard down the back, or onto the back straightaway. Let's have to see if he makes a move here in the next couple of laps here. So we see Craigo go way up the track. Oh, and the 84 is coming down pit road. It looks like it's a scheduled stop as teammate also comes down pit road in the form of Richards. Takeda, Kiro also coming down pit road. It'll be interesting to see who else comes down pit road. It looks like the 37's coming down pit road. I don't see anybody else slowing down for now, although say that looks like 23 to 29 and 04 coming down pit road. Maddox now pit, so Merzlik's going to lead this lap. Heflin down as well as his Blade Runner. Evans Ross, Keene, Nomina, Wallace, Willard, Kenningberg finally comes down pit road. Dillon, Bishop, Montoya. Whole bunch of cars come down this time by. Merzlik's going to be coming down as well this time by. Interestingly, English and Sparks don't. Sparks losing the spot to English. Now Richards on that faster tire. It'll be interesting if English comes down this time by. And looks like he will, along with William Sparks. Perhaps they're counting on fast pit stops and even a lap or two fresher tires to help them out immensely in the going here against their rivals. Thomas also hits pit road. As does Henson Jr. Let's see how this cycles around. As for some reason my game is just utterly stuttering for whatever reason. So I know not why. Still waiting for timing and scoring the update to get a proper viewing of where everybody is, as now Granger is the one getting passed by everybody. Whereas McGranger's going to have to pit here in about 5 to 10 laps or so himself. Although, interestingly, we've not reached the halfway mark. We're still a few laps away from the halfway mark, so we will need to, or they will need to pit again. Alright, so here we go now. Who cycled out as leader? 100 Kiro still. With Maddox in second. Kiro with a great stop, 3.5 seconds ahead of Maddox, who's now under fire from Travis Heflin. I believe that said it was Blade Runner in 4th? Yeah, Blade Runner in 4th. Merzlik 5th. Crown Jr. in 6th. Armstrong 7th. English in 8th. Evans Ross in 9th. Great stop for her. And Keene, your top 10. Side by side now, teammates Sparks and Wallace for Team Penske. Behind them is Jensen Nomina in 80. Mike Willard in 24. Then a whole heap of cars here just outside the top 10, ranging to about 19th or so. Excuse me, 22nd. I apparently cannot count. Granger still falling back, and I think he just lost the penultimate position on track. And that would be confirmed as he is running lap times in the high 26 bracket. Meanwhile, the leader, who is actually ahead of him, the leader is running in the high 23s, a full 3 seconds faster per lap between the leader and Harold Granger right now. That is insane. As Thorkeen has to take to the apron to avoid Evans Ross, who is held up greatly by the 57. And we are past the halfway mark, by the way, because guess what lap it was halfway? 69. Nice. Anyways, looks like the first car one lap down is Robert Dobbs running, 33rd. Not great, but he is ahead of the defending champion Cody Lamas, so that's something, right? Anyways, Merzlak is in a distant third. Heflin was passed by Blade Runner and Merzlak by the looks of things, and is now trying to get back around Blade Runner here. Crown Jr. had a really good stop. He's now running in 6th, like I said earlier. So, really, really good run for him. Now, here, as we enter the back half, there's English just outside the top 5. Also running really well. Of course, we expect that of him. He is a championship contender. Not necessarily a championship winner thus far. Armstrong in 8, of course, like I mentioned earlier. He's done pretty well. Keen 9th. Sparks now in 10th. Echo in 11th, but under fire from not Merzlak. Wow, wrong driver. Willard. And Nomino, of course, right behind the 24 with Ian Wallace 14th. And Team Penske rounding out the top 15. Wait, where is the 2? Okay, never mind on that whole thing. The ticker is apparently so far behind that it doesn't even register that, several laps have gone by. Speaking of which, now Henson Jr. is the first car a lap down. Now at the tail end of the lap. Now a lap down. As now it's a Mercedes side-by-side battle. Dobbs trying to get around Maddox, which is pretty interesting considering the fact that these aren't even for position. As Maddox is running in 2nd and Dobbs, like I mentioned earlier, in 33rd. Has Granger still has not pit, and it's been well over 11 laps since. You'd think that he would be able to go the distance and whatnot. Or, not go the distance, but he'd think he would have had to pit by now. And as I say that, he is now heading pit road this time by the looks of things. But unlike everybody else, he can go to distance from here, I believe. So everyone pitted late lap 50s? Well, he would be pushing it very close, but he can technically, although he went all the way from lap 11 going on 12 to lap 80, or rather lap 79. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he can make it based on that distance alone. Oh, side-by-side battle for the lead. Kiro's getting passed by Maddox here. Maddox is now the leader. What had happened to Hunter Kiro? Did lap traffic just gain up on Hunter Kiro? Or is there a legitimate issue with the 92 car? Because now he's being passed by Merzlak. And it's now he's Hunter Kiro must have an issue on that car because he's been passed by 3 cars for position in the span of a lap. Dylan Maddox is now leading this race. Merzlak is now second. Heflin back in third. And it looks like Lingush just passed Blade Runner for fourth. Or fifth, I should say. Because Hunter Kiro's fourth. And lap traffic side by side ahead of Maddox. That's not what you want to see as the leader when you're trying to get around lap traffic quickly with traffic, or not traffic, your fellow drivers that you're battling for position right behind you. Maddox does get around Takeda here, but Merzlak has closed the gap. As we see McGranger take advantage of those stupidly fresh tires, and well, whatever issue Kiro had, it looks like it's gotten sorted out and he's back up to speed. He's now side by side with Heflin for that podium spot. Not that we do podiums. I made podium graphics, but there's no actual podiums. But whatever. Anyways, regardless, Merzlak now still ahead of McGranger, who's of course, like I said, on damn near 30 lap fresher tires. Well, more like just over 20 lap fresher tires. And now there are no lapped cars in between Merzlak and Maddox. Although there's bound to be one here within the next maybe half lap. And Heflin's gotten back around Kiro, so interesting note there. And now Merzlak's going to be put on the lesser line here as McGranger gets around him. But interestingly, Merzlak was also catching Maddox and whatnot. And McGranger is going to try and get around his teammate here. This might put his teammate at a disadvantage to Merzlak here as they run into turns 1 and 2. Dobbs also ahead of that 59 car, and yeah, Merzlak is right on the bumper of Maddox. We have ourselves a race. With less than 50 to go, heavy lap traffic in front of the leaders as well. So no doubt that's going to play a factor into this one. Right now it's just a 2-horse race, Merzlak and Maddox. Maddox, of course, as I mentioned, I believe, I can't remember if it was a Texas or if it was Auto Club. I did mention that, of course, Maddox used to race for Merzlak. Drove the number 7, well, initially drove the 44 car in 2019. And then, 3 wide traffic ahead of them. Watch out. Anyways, as I was saying, Maddox drove the 44 and then at one point the 7 for SMR until 2021, where Lana Kiro came in and replaced Maddox in that number 7 car. So, not such great blood between these two as well, if rumor were to be true. As Max O'Quinn briefly tries to get in front of Merzlak, but it's not going to work now as Merzlak expertly gets around the 29 car here. Just eliminating the gap of one lapped car between Merzlak and Maddox. Meanwhile, Heflin still in third. I have an English now, as it looks like Sean English has gotten around Hunter Kiro. Interesting to note that, as now English tries to get to the inside of Heflin and will do so. I don't think they've been catching the leaders, though. Could be wrong. I don't know. Oh, yeah, actually, the gap's kind of closed there. Not by a lot. Maddox is having a hard time getting around the 82 of Kenningberg here. Now to the inside, Merzlak goes side by side through turns 1 and 2. This is for the lead. Lap traffic surrounding the leaders here. English closing in. English has taken third away from Heflin. Maddox drove it deep off of turn number 2 and retains the lead for now. Mikey Willard's up to 10th. Just random top 10 update. English gets around the 83 of Richards. That's only puts one lapped car between second and third. Never been versus two-time champion. Who will come out on top? 40 laps to go currently. Maddox doing a great job of holding up the 4 of Merzlak. I thought I heard a wreck further back. Turns out it was nothing. So far, a caution-free race. Merzlak looks to the inside once again through turns 1 and 2. Can't quite get there. Maddox just has the drive off, but Merzlak has the drive in. English now clear of lap traffic. Can he reel in the leaders? Heflin also clear. Also, will we see these guys pit again? If I recall correctly, Merzlak and Maddox pitted on the same lap. English pitted a couple laps later, so he has a couple laps fresher tires, and he's on the back bumper of Merzlak now for second. That's all Maddox needs to try and pull away. Because if Merzlak goes on the defense rather than the offense, that's not going to work, though, because here comes Merzlak now to inside in turn 1. Maddox once again with that just drive off the corner, though, able to hold off Merzlak. English looks to the inside briefly as they go through turns 3 and 4. Looks like Merzlak just has a better drive off of turn 4, while Maddox has a better drive off of turn number 2. But Merzlak clear of Maddox as they exit turn 2, but Maddox, once again, that drive off the corner, but not clear of Merzlak as they enter 3. And Maddox cleared by English as well, and now side by side with the three of uh, Hancock. Sorry, I had to think of the name because of the battle here. So Merzlak once again leads. English second. Familiar sight, of course. It's just in points rather than on track. Sorry, Sean. And Heflin now clears Maddox for third. Of course, we saw this happen last week as well, where it was Heflin leading most of the laps and then getting past late in the race. But again, these guys pitted before halfway, so it'll be interesting to see if they need to pit again. In fact, as I say that, Cole Dillon has come down pit road, as has Takeda. And now Crown Jr. comes down pit road. So we will see pit stops here within the next few laps. It'll be interesting to see how things shake out. Heflin, the first to blink. He will come down pit road first. Hainer down pit road. Arnstruff, Richards, Kiro, Blade Runner, Sparks, Keene, Plaxco, Willard, Echo, Evans, Ross, Foxen, our pole sitter, Vaughn, Walsh, Crago, and more come down pit road. And now the leaders hit pit road. One lap later than Heflin. Heflin off of pit road. Oh, contact! It is English and Blade Runner making contact on pit road. That is going to hurt English's chances as much as it hurts Blade Runner's. That is not what English needed. Merzlak off of pit road. Heflin passes him on the track. Maddox passed by Crown Jr. English still ahead of the 92. Heflin in the lead. Can he redeem himself from last week at Texas? Five of Henson Jr., very disadvantageous. Crown Jr. looking for one of his best career finishes as well. Heflin trying to put Henson a lap down and one lap car between himself and Merzlak. Henson Jr. trying to stay on the lead lap. Henson Jr. unsuccessful. It's also a lap car between the 48 Lamas and, excuse me, Cody Lamas is a lap car between Merzlak and Crown Jr. I just realized my lap counter is cut off. I apologize, folks. I will have to fix that at a later point. As Merzlak tries to get around Henson Jr. Henson fighting Merzlak harder than he fought the 13, kind of. McGranger's also in the way. McGranger, of course, on much older tires than everybody else. Now there's no lap cars between Merzlak and Heflin. Big wad of cars. As it looks like Maddox has gone around Crown Jr. because of it. Yep. Hunter Kiro in 5th. And Sean English all the way back in 8th. Make that 7th as he gets around the 80 of Henson Jr. $20 laps to go. Next time by. And now Hunter Kiro loses a spot to Ian Wallace. More than likely due to Harold McGranger just being well off pace. Kiro immediately tries to take the spot back. English now fighting to try and regain lost time from that pit stop incident between him and Blade Runner. All eyes up front, though, as Merzak tries to chase down Heflin for the lead and potentially a race win. Maddox with a career day. Whatever Queen City Racing's record was last year, this next-gen car has certainly turned that team around. Already, we kicked out the season with a win. And now Maddox is running 3rd on speed alone. And legit speed and whatnot. So props to Maddox for being able to stay in the top 5 for pretty much the entire day. Crown Jr. with a career day as well, running in 4th at the moment, was running 3rd several laps ago until he got held up by traffic, and that allowed Maddox to get back around him. He was running outside the top 10 about the mid-teens, but props to his crew for getting him up towards the front, and him now able to remain there as well. Meanwhile, Heflin's been caught by Merzlak. And the battle is much easier one for Merzlak than it was when he fought. Oh, maybe not. Heflin was able to try and make a run on the outside, but now here comes Lamas to the inside of Heflin. That's going to allow Merzlak to have his life be easier for this win. So as I was saying, the fight against Heflin was easier than against Maddox. Of course, like I said earlier, Maddox, not necessarily a fond person of Merzlak if the rumors were true, and now Maddox side by side with Heflin for 2nd. That 13 car must not like that outside lane. Merzlak trying to put 2 lap cars between himself and the rest of the rest of the field. Crown Jr. in no danger of losing that 4th place to Ian Wallace in 5th. Several lap cars and plenty of track between them. 10 laps to go now for Merzlak. As he once again catches McRanger. Lamas had a look to the inside of Takeda. That would have been disaster for Maddox, as now he gets to the inside of Lamas. Lamas with the runoff. That allows Heflin to close back in to Maddox. As the fight for second continues, now Lamas side by side with Takeda. 8 laps to go. Merzlak's pulling away. Lamas does get ahead of 59 Maddox. But Maddox does not clear Takeda. That is not what Maddox needs, but it is what Merzlak loves to see. 7 to go now. Maddox clear of Takeda. Mostly clear of Takeda. Now fully clear. Maddox only has 1 lap car between himself and Merzlak. I had to hesitate there because Takeda was coming back on the outside. Heflin clear of Takeda, much easier than Maddox. There is a gap between the next lap car, Robert Dobbs, and Merzlak. And then there is a gap between Merzlak and Maddox. Heflin still with Maddox as well. 5 laps to go now. English has done well to recover from that pit road incident. Was fighting Wallace there for 5th. Ever so briefly. Looks like the lap cars of Hancock and O'Quinn have gotten around Crown Jr. Maddox starting to pull away from Heflin just ever so slightly. Three laps to go now for Merzlak. A pit stop folly at the end of last season at Atlanta, close off the season, caused him to fall to, if I recall correctly, 3rd in points, and failed to defend his championship from 2021. But now it's the final lap. 1 lap to go, and Merzlak looking to try and make it 3 championships in 4 years. And he's off to a great start through 3 and 4 for the final time. And off of that corner, Merzlak's going to see the checker flag, and he will win at Rockingham. So last of the field comes around to complete the lap. Steven Merzlak, Dylan Maddox, Travis Heflin, Roberto Crown Jr., Ian Wallace, Hunter Kiro, Jensen Nomina, English, Sparks, and Keene round out the top 10. that was certainly an exciting bit towards the end there, even if the racing wasn't exactly the greatest. But hey, not all races are going to be barn burners, which is perfectly fine. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Points and full results, of course, in the description below, as it will be for all races. Next week, or well, not next week, the next time we race, it will be at. If I pull up the schedule real quick. The next race is, speaking of Atlanta, at Atlanta. Of course, with that reconfiguration to it being the super speedway, it was an interesting race last season. Aside, of course, from the late race green white checkers, which, of course, as you can see from from the Daytona 500, we don't have green white checkers anymore. We got rid of the overtimes for this season because of a green white checkered effectively causing a incident where we had a championship not necessarily be manipulated, but have two runs end because they couldn't go the extra distance. That's part of the reason why we got rid of them. The other is because, well, it would be kind of hard to get it to work properly, probably. I don't know. The better cautions uh, extension that Tyler Mellon made was never really perfected. It was made, it was tweaked, it was made a lot better. No pun intended on its name. But it wasn't quite finished. Kind of wish Tyler Mellon would go and, kind of perfect it and tweak it so that way it was more finalized. That way it worked a lot better. But that's neither here nor there, and it's kind of irrelevant at this point because I'm not using the program for 2023. All that said and done, congratulations to Stephen Merzlag, of course, and like I said, next time out we'll be at Atlanta. So until then, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we'll see you at the next race. So long, everybody.